The reading module is considered as the toughest part of PTE, but we have a solution for this. If you face problems in solving reading, you can purchase our reading course, which includes essential grammar rules for each type of questions that may help to ace your score. Call us for more information on 95880-68207 or 63679498840. Thank you.
In his fascinating book Carbon Detox, George Marshall argues that people are not persuaded by information. Our views are formed by the views of the people with whom we mix. Of the narratives that might penetrate these circles, we are more likely to listen to those which offer us some reward. A story which tells us that the world is cooking and that we'll have to make sacrifices for the sake of future generations is less likely to be accepted than the more rewarding idea that climate change is a conspiracy hatched by scheming governments and venal scientists, and that strong, independent-minded people should unite to defend their freedoms. Essays are used as an assessment tool to evaluate your ability to research a topic and construct an argument, as well as your understanding of subject content. This does not mean that essays are a regurgitation of everything your lecture has said throughout the course. Essays are your opportunity to explore in greater depths aspects of the course theories, issues, texts, etc., and in some cases relate these aspects to a particular context. It is your opportunity to articulate your ideas, but in a certain way, using formal academic style. The book advances 5 fundamental and, in my view, fundamentally correct propositions. First, for all its manifest achievements, the Chinese attempt to marry a Communist Party state with the market is unsustainable. Hutton does not deny the economic achievements of the past 3 decades, but he stresses that the result has been not free market capitalism, but Leninist corporatism. This is not a viable new model, but an ultimately dysfunctional hybrid. The first banks were probably the religious temples of the ancient world, and were probably established sometime during the 3rd millennium BC. Banks probably predated the invention of money. Deposits initially consisted of grain, and later other goods including cattle, agricultural implements, and eventually precious metals, such as gold, in the form of easy-to-carry compressed plates. Temples and palaces were the safest places to store gold as they were constantly attended and well built. As sacred places, temples presented an extra deterrent to would-be thieves. Adams has completely undermined my confidence in these apparently sensible precautions. What he has persuasively argued, particularly in relation to seatbelts, is that the evidence that they do what they are supposed to do is very suspect. This is in spite of numerous claims that seat belts save many thousands of lives every year. Between 1970 and 1978, countries in which the wearing of seat belts is compulsory had on average about 5% more road accident deaths than before the introduction of the law. In the United Kingdom, road deaths decreased steadily from about 7,000 a year in 1972 to just over 4,000 in 1989. There is no evidence in the trend for any effect of the seatbelt law that was introduced in 1983. There's actually evidence that the number of cyclists and pedestrians killed increased by about 10%. How are these figures, which are both puzzling and shocking, to be explained? The answer seems to lie in our perception of risk and how we modify our behavior. An important concept that has been developed to account for people's handling of risk is the thermostat model. An individual's propensity to take risks is influenced by their own experience and that of others, and this model assumes that the degree to which we take risks varies from one individual to another. The key feature in risk taking is the balancing of perceptions of the risk and the possible rewards, and this balance may be a reflection of an individual's particular type of personality. In general, the more risks an individual takes, the greater will be both the positive and negative rewards. Professor Richard Kimble directed the DES-funded Assessment of Performance Unit research project in design and technology. In 1990, he founded the Technology Education Research Unit (TERU) at Goldsmiths College, University of London, which is now running a wide range of funded research projects in design and technology and IT. He has published widely in the field, including reports commissioned by the Congress of the United States, UNESCO and NATO. He has written and presented television programs and regularly lectures internationally. His latest book, Assessing Technology, International Trends in Curriculum and Assessment, won the International Technology Education Book of the Year Award from the Council for Technology Teacher Education at ITEA in 1999 in Minneapolis, USA. It is tempting to try to prove that good looks win votes, and many academics have tried. The difficulty is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and you cannot behold a politician's face without a veil of extraneous prejudice getting in the way. Does George Bush possess a disarming grin or a facetious smirk? It's hard to find anyone who can look at the president without assessing him politically as well as physically.